if two, no, let's not write that down first. You'll write it down in a minute here. Oh no, let's write it down. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal. Now, let me give you a few. What line did you there? You've got three lines there. This one, this one, and this one. Which line do you think is the transversal? Sammy?
The middle one, the diagonal.
Yeah, the diagonal one. The line that cuts the two lines. This is the transversal. Okay. And what we're going to look at is characteristics or the relationships of these angle, not angels, relationships there. Okay. The first thing, before we really get to this though, write down this little fact. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of different little facts here. In geometry, children, is all about taking the obvious and trying to explain why some things are true. Okay, you just can't say because they are this or that. Okay, the first thing we're going to say is this. Opposite, which are also known as vertical, angles are equal. That's a big one here. So, in other words, what would be an opposite angle or a vertical angle? Well, looking at this, angle 6, this angle right here, would be opposite of what angle? If you think about what the word opposite kind of means there. Opposite, we think, how do you describe opposite? Ryan, what do you think? Angle 6 is opposite. It is not opposite of angle 2, believe it or not. Not in our world. We'll get to that one though. Calvin?
Angle 4.
Not angle 4 either. Think of opposite as being on the other side of. Grace?
5.
Not angle 5. We've almost extinguished on. Gary?
Angle 7.
Angle 7, yes. Angle 6 and angle 7 are opposites. Angle 4 and what other angle are opposite? Angle 4 here, the opposite, maybe a better word would be diagonal. Diagonal. Maybe that'd be a better word to use, that help you remember. Angle 4 is opposite of what angle? Peter?
Angle 1.
Angle 1. This one? This one? This? What's that? Okay, so if you know that opposite angles are equal, that means if angle 5 equals 110 degrees, what would angle 8 equal? If angle 5 equals 110 degrees, then angle 8, if opposite angles are equal, Evan, 110 degrees. That's a tough one, right? Okay. The other thing we're going to talk about before we move any farther is supplementary angles. So we know what opposite angles are now. Supplementary, I think they're all these. Let me make sure I get it right. Supplementary, A-R-Y. Supplementary angles. We've got supplementary angles and complementary angles. Does anybody know the difference between the two? Grace?
Supplementary angles, they add up to 180 degrees.
Exactly. Supplementary angles form a straight line which means a straight line is 180 degrees, so they have to add up to 180 degrees. Complementary angles on the other hand are, anybody out there in the geometrical world? Peter, they are,
Add up to, is it 80 or 90?
they form right angles, so they add up to 90 degrees. Okay, looking at my list of angles here, do you see any complementary angles? Do you see any angles that form 90 degrees? They'd have to form a square corner. Any complementary angles? No, but on this list I have a bunch of supplementary angles. Anybody want to shoot one out for me? What two angles on this thing would form a straight line? Somebody out there in the world besides the people that have already answered all the questions there. Christine, do you need to move closer? Would that help?
Glasses.
I'm just asking, would it help if you could sit next to Jacob, at least while we take notes or something? Michael Bruel, give me two angles that are supplementary.
3 and 4.
Very good, yes. Angle 3 and angle 4 are supplementary. Very good. Any other angles that are supplementary? There are probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's probably 8 different pairs of angles that are supplementary there. Jacob, another supplementary angle?
7 and 8.
Angle 7 and angle 8 are supplementary. Now, knowing what you know, children, since angle 5 and angle 6 are supplementary, right? Is that not right? 5 and 6 form a straight line. That means angle 6 has to be how many degrees?
90.
Angle 5 is 110 degrees. What number when you add to 110 degrees gives you 180 degrees? Yes. 70 degrees. And because I know that angle 6 is 70 degrees, how big is angle 8? They form a straight angle or a straight line right there, so angle 8 has to be 110 degrees. So you have proved this supplementary thing is the proof why opposite or vertical angles are equal. Why would they be equal? Because they are both supplements to the same angle. You know what I'm saying? If you have angle 6, both angle 5 and angle 8 are supplements to the same angle, so they must be the same degrees, which we don't care about one way or another. Isn't that exciting? Okay, huh? Did something they're confused? No. Fine. So what's angle 7 have to be and why? Tell me what angle 7 is. Here is geometry in its truest form. You need to tell me what angle 7 is, and then tell me how you know it is. You have to prove. Geometry is about proving what you say. Kelvin, angle 7 is?
70 degrees because opposite angles are equal.
Exactly, because opposite angles. And you just can abbreviate it. Or you could also say angle 7 is 70 degrees for what other reason? Gary?
It's the opposite of 6.
I already said that.
Because 8 is 110.
So we would say because it is supplementary to angle
8.
8. Yep. For those two reasons you can give and say that, well, that's why angle 7 is 70 degrees. Everybody's good with that. Now we get to the actual two parallel lines cut by a transversal. These are where it gets a little on the confusing side. Okay? First thing we have to talk about is what are internal angles and external angles. All right, actually I should call them interior, sorry. Can I change that? Interior angles and exterior angles. And I will just tell you here. Interior angles are the angles that are inside the parallel lines. So here is the deal with that. Let me do my little highlighter thing here. Right here, this, see, this is the interior part of what we're talking about. So interior angles, name me the interior angles that are there. Which angles fall inside the parallel lines? There are 4 of them. Christian, give me one interior angle. Angle 4, he says with confidence. That's true. Another angle. Smith?
5.
Angle 5. Another angle. Grace?
3.
3. And the last interior angle would be, Alex?
6.
Angle 6. So with that being said, if interior angles are inside the parallel lines, which angles do you suppose are the exterior angles? Exactly. Exterior angles are the ones that fall outside. Don't you wish you had a nice colored thing that would do this? Doesn't that look pretty? Exterior angles are the angles that are outside the parallel lines. So if I asked you to name those for me, which would be what angles? Savannah, give me an exterior angle there.
7.
Angle 7. Another exterior angle. Luke's 8. The third exterior angle. Evan?
2.
2. And then the fourth and final one, Ryan?
1.
Angle 1. All right, you ready for another definition? Yes. This one is corresponding angles. Do I have someone who can work here? No, that's it. Let's write it over here. Corresponding angles. No easy way to talk about this, but for corresponding angles, think about the angles that if you could pick up one intersection and put it on top of the other, they are the angles on top of each other. Angles that line up with each other. You may not get that, but I think you will when I kind of demonstrate a little bit here. These are the angles that if you could pick up one intersection, pull it out, and set it on top of the other intersection, which angles line up on top of each other? So if you're looking up here, that means this. Let's say I could take this intersection right here, rip it out, put it on top of this intersection there. What angles line up with each other are on top of each other? And that would mean, let's say this. Angle 7 would correspond to, angle 7 on this one, if I pulled it out, set it on top of this one, would correspond to what angle on this one? Sammy?
Equal 3.
Exactly, angle 3. If I pulled this out and set it down on top of there, these angles are in the same position, would be right over top of each other. Angle 2 would correspond to angle 2 right here. If I pulled it up and set it down on top of this one, would correspond to, Michael?
6.
Angle 6. Okay. That's it. Now, here is the big point of all of this here. Oh, look, I got room over there. First things first is that corresponding angles are, guess what? Equal. Okay? Angles that correspond will be the exact same measurements if, and you have to put that clause in front of it, if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then corresponding angles are equal. So knowing what I know about what I've got written down here, you can tell me that angle 4 equals what angle, corresponds to what angle down here? Grace? Which means angle 4 has to be how many degrees? 4 corresponds to 8 and corresponding angles are equal. So if 8 is 110 degrees, that means 4 has to be 110 degrees. Or how about this one? Angle 3. How many degrees is angle 3 right here? And why? Angle 3, Eli, has to be, because it corresponds to, right, if I pull this off the paper, set it down, then it's going to be angle 3 equals 70 degrees because of corresponding angles. We ready for more? Yes. Here are the last two, I believe. Okay? And they're called this. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then alternate interior angles are equal. And in order to figure that out, we have to figure out what alternate interior angles are. Well, we know what the interior angles are, right? 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alternate means, when you alternate, you kind of flip from one side to the other. Well, angle 5 is an alternate interior angle with angle 4, whatever is flipped on the other side of the transversal. Angle 5 and angle 4 are alternate interior angles. And they're also equal. So whatever angle 5 is, if angle 5 is 100 degrees, angle 4 has to be 110 degrees. That's 105, 110 degrees. What's the other set of alternate interior angles besides angle 5 and angle 4? The other set of alternate interior angles would be, I've already got 5 and 4. The other two alternate, 6 and 3. Now, these are exterior angles. We're only looking at interior angles, which is the green section. So angle 3 is an alternate interior angle to angle 6. They are all equal. All, well, I mean 5 and 4 are equal and 6 and 3 are equal. 5 doesn't equal 6. And then guess what the last one is? Alternate exterior angles are equal. Thank you very much. I might even have enough room to write that down. Alternate exterior angles are equal. And remember, when you're talking about exterior, we're just talking about the ones in the yellow. And alternate means they flip-flop sides. So angle 7 is an alternate exterior angle to what? Angle 2. Has to be on the other side of the transversal. This side, opposite side. So angle 7 and angle 2, angle 1 and angle 8. And they are also equal. Got enough writing on your paper? Ev?
How do you find the alternate exteriors degree?
Well, we're going to talk about that. So, I'm going to throw this down here. Let me do a couple more, another. Let me just label this however I want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And again, I have to be told that two parallel lines are cut by a transversal. Two parallel lines cut by the trans. Okay, I simply, by given one measurement, you can tell me all the different measurements of all this. For example, let's say angle 6 is 50 degrees. Okay. You should be able to right now spit off to me almost every angle verbatim here, and give me proof why. For example, if I know that angle 6 equals 50 degrees, somebody give me any other angle and how much and why. How much and why? What do we think there? Alexa is what? How many degrees?
50
Why?
doesn't correspond to
No, it doesn't correspond to angle 6.
something.
It's not supplementary. Not complementary. I agree.
Oh, it's opposite.
Very good. Because it's opposite 6. That's one thing. So you could label this as being 50 degrees also. You should be able to tell me almost all the other ones, just whatever reason. Gary, another something.
5 is 130.
Angle 5 equals 130 degrees because of
It's supplementary to 50.
supplementary to angle 6. So I know this is 130. Right now I figured out 3 of my 5 there. Michael?
Angle 2 is 50 degrees, because it corresponds to angle 6.
Exactly. Corresponds to angle 6. Well done. So I know angle 2 is 50 degrees. By the way, you could give another reason. What's another reason why angle 2 would be 50 degrees? Second reason. Just got done talking about it. 8 and 2 are alternate. You could either say because it corresponds to 6 or it's alternate exterior angle to number 8. Both of those are true. Another true fact there. Grace?
Angle 7.
Angle 7 is
130.
not very good. 130 degrees. Why?
Because it's supplementary.
Supplementary to 5. Another reason?
Because 8 is 50, or
Okay, you wait. We said this is 100. Wait. Oh no, sorry. Did you say it's supplementary to 5, Grace? It's not to 5, it's what to 5? I'm sorry. This should have been an opposite angle to 5. It is supplementary to what? Which angle is it supplementary to?
6.
Or it's also supplementary to 8. Another reason why it'd be 130 degrees? Is there another reason why? That we know of? I don't think so yet, is there? Not yet. There'll be another one. Another reason you know what is what, Evan?
Angle 4 is 50 degrees.
Because,
They are exterior.
no, angle 4 is an interior angle. Anything
Oh.
inside the lines,
Oh, so they're interior
Right.
angles.
it's alternate interior angle with angle 6. Or, another reason angle 4 is 50 degrees because it is, Christine? Another reason this is 50 degrees, besides being an alternate interior angle, it is also, Eli? Opposite angle 2, which is 50 degrees. Alright, Christine, you. Angle
5 or angle 1
is,
is 130 degrees because it's corresponding to angle 5.
yep, corresponds to angle 5, or because it is supplementary to angle 2, it's supplementary to angle 4, it is a, as you said, corresponding to 5. It's an alternate exterior angle to angle 7. For all those reasons, you can say that. And the last one, we know angle 3 has to be, Savannah?
130 degrees.
130 degrees for a number of reasons, just about everyone you can imagine. Why? Give me just one.
It's alternate. Interior.
Yep, it's an alternate interior angle with angle 5. It is also, Jacob,
Corresponding
to angle 7.
So,
Opposite angle 1. And not any other reason? I think that's pretty much it. And the book will ask you to prove those sort of things there. One more thing to put another piece, you get another piece of paper out there, and you'll see this. I don't think you take a math test, but we'll do one more. Here's another problem that doesn't deal with parallel lines, but it does deal with angles that we talked about. Let's say you've got this shape, and we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I know that this is 40 degrees. If I asked you to give me what angle 2 and angle 3 are, anybody think they can tell me? By the way, there's not parallel lines cut by a transversal here. No parallel lines, so we can't use some of that stuff. But a few of the things we talked about with intersecting lines would work. Anybody tell me anything? You should be able to tell me, actually, you should be able to tell me, you should be able to tell me all the angles we have here. Let's just write them all down. Angle 3, angle 4, angle 1. How about what's angle 1 and why? Angle 1 is how many degrees? Eli says,
I was going to say,
well, fire away, maybe try.
well, no, I was thinking it makes sense.
Michael,
Angle 1 is 140 degrees.
because of,
Because the 40 degrees is supplementary.
it's supplementary. It forms a straight line with that 40-degree angle there. All right, so if angle 1 is 140 degrees, how big is angle 2? By a couple different reasons. Peter?
Angle 2 is 40 degrees because it's opposite.
Opposite, two lines intersect, opposite angles are equal, so that should also be 40 degrees. Angle 3 might be the toughest one of all. If I know this is 40 degrees, and I know this is 140 degrees, how big is angle 3 and why? I have to think outside the proverbial box a little bit here. Gary?
Is it 40?
It is not 40 degrees, but that's what I thought. Evan?
Is it 140?
It is not 140 degrees, but I can see where you could think that. It really has nothing to do. You don't even look at any of those down there. Peter,
50?
why is it 50 degrees?
Because all triangles add up to 100.
Right. You have to go back to your knowledge that every triangle has to add up to 180 degrees with all three angles added up. You've got 90 degrees here, so these two other ones have to equal 90 as well. So 3 has to be 50 degrees. And that would mean angle 4 would have to be, by the way, the proof of this is a 180 degree triangle. And then angle 4 would have to be not 40. This is 50. Okay, angle 4 has to be how big and why? The wheels are turning, Emily. This is 50 degrees, angle 4 has to be 130 because it is a supplementary angles. So man, gosh, I wish we had so much more time to go over this, but